Right now at 5, a South Florida father is behind bars, accused of leaving his 2-year-old son brain dead. And you'll never believe what cops say was the cause. Also, Miramar-based Spirit Airlines has come out with one obnoxious flying fee this week, but could another more ridiculous fee be on the way? Plus, don't get sucked into buying a P90X until you hear this. Why people looking to get ripped claim they're being ripped off. All that and more today on The Morning Show. Good morning. Happy hump day to you. It's Wednesday, August 4th, 5 a.m. This is The Morning Show. I'm Dave Azer, and let's not waste any time. Let's get right to Jeff Melkars because he is very excited to give you your first look at your wake-up weather this morning. Jeff.
I'm so excited to be able to say, hey, remember that big old tropical storm everyone was making such a big deal out of?
Gone. Right.
Oh, silly people here, yes. Well, just remember, I was making more of a big deal about the morning commute than I was talking about Colin, it being more than 2,000 miles away. That said, anybody listening who may be around Fort Lauderdale International Airport, guess what? Some rain coming your way. So basically, I tell you this much, very similar kind of situation as to what we've got going on, as what we had going on your Tuesday. In fact, let me put this into motion a little bit of lightning out here right now. The good news is that the lightning has been subsiding as this has been sliding on over to the west. But I tell you, this is not going to be the only area of rain we see this morning, quite frankly. As this does continue to move towards Fort Lauderdale, towards Hollywood, I would say that some rain could be on the roadways in the next, let's call it 15 to 20 minutes. So again, wherever you're going this morning, you may at the end of the day need to allow a little extra time to get where you're going. Now, I've got good news for you coming up in that extended outlook once we get through the morning commute and today. However, that extended forecast coming up in just a few minutes, and we will take a look at the tropics as well. But first, back to you, Dave.
Thank you, Jeff. It's time now for your morning fix of news headlines. We'll check in with Kristen Anderson. She's at the Sun Sentinel News Desk. Hi, Kristen.
Good morning, Dave. Good morning, South Florida. A very disturbing story out of Homestead to tell you about this morning. A 23-year-old father is charged with beating his 2-year-old son. Homestead police say Lee DeJesus admitted to hitting the toddler repeatedly for 15 minutes during, quote, boxing lessons. He says the child hit his head on the wall and floor when he fell, but DeJesus didn't seek help for at least 30 minutes. Little Willie Brown was airlifted to Miami's Children's Hospital, where he's on life support with severe brain damage. The Miami Herald and several other news stations are reporting the child has died. Family and neighbors say DeJesus has a history of violence. He's charged with aggravated child abuse and child neglect. A criminal scandal takes down yet another South Florida politician. Palm Beach County Commissioner Jeff Coons resigned Tuesday, just hours after being arrested on extortion charges. Prosecutors say Coons tried to intimidate opponents of his Pet South Cove environmental project. He allegedly cussed his way through a voicemail message to one of them. Tuesday, he let his lawyer read his apology.
As only Jeff could state it, and I quote, "I screwed up big time, and I blame no one but myself. I have shamed my family, my friends, and my community."
Coons says he will plead guilty. He's expected to cut a deal with prosecutors. The 62-year-old is the 4th Palm Beach County Commissioner forced out of office since just 2006. A Fort Lauderdale school principal charged with attempted grand theft auto will keep her job for now. We told you about this one yesterday. Well, cops arrested 43-year-old Rendalyn Awmaker last week after she tried to rent a car at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport using her mother's driver's license. Well, her attorney says she was trying to rent the car for her mother and never tried to pass herself off as somebody else. Awmaker works at North Fork Elementary. She won't be allowed to make any financial decisions on her own until her case is settled. Well, cops say they've busted a South Florida woman known as the Beauty Bandit. 29-year-old Maria Elizabeth Christen, you're looking at her. She posed for a glamour shot of sorts at the Miami-Dade County Jail. She's accused of having cosmetic work done at Miami and Miami Beach centers over the past year, then either bouncing checks or skipping out on the bills altogether. They're also checking to see if she's the same woman who bailed on a $3,300 tab at a Fort Lauderdale cosmetic center that happened on July 23rd. Christen's attorney says she was in the process of paying the bills. During her arrest Monday, I think it's interesting to note here, cops say she was complaining about having a bad hair day and seemed disappointed that news cameras weren't there. Broward's community leaders are urging Governor Charlie Crist to keep BP tourism dollars flowing into the county. Broward got $850,000 from BP to boost tourism in the wake of the oil spill. The BP money paid for internet, TV, and print campaigns designed to fight the perception that all Florida beaches were contaminated by crude. Well, it seemed to have worked. Hotel business is better than last year. Well, now the concern is bolstering business in the critical fall and winter seasons.
Florida's a huge state. It's like a nation, and trying to be able to have the opportunity to market Florida as much as we possibly can. You just want to be able to equitably distribute those dollars in the best way possible, and that's what we're trying to do.
Chris says BP has approved another $7 million for Florida tourism marketing. I'm Kristen Anderson. That's a look at your latest headlines. The Morning Show and the Sun Sentinel have partnered together to bring you breaking news alerts. It's free. Just go to southflorida.com and click on the alerts box on the right-hand side of our homepage. You can even use your Facebook or your Google account to sign up. It's 5:05. Back to you, Dave.
Thanks a lot, Kristen. The new carry-on fees over at Spirit Airlines have many passengers upset. But while that might sound far-fetched, listen to this one. The airline's CEO says his company is considering charging for chatting with his employees at the airport. The Morning Show's Kristen Kane is live at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International with more on this one. Chris, it's going to cost you money to talk to a human being. That sounds wonderful.
I know, Dave. It's unbelievable. Many Spirit passengers are actually feeling a little bit de-spirited this morning after finding out that they may now have to pay for personal service from Spirit Airlines. Now, not only is Spirit the only airline carrier, to charge you for carry-on luggage, you may now have to pay to actually talk to a real person at the airport. At least that's what the Miramar-based carrier CEO told ABC News. He says it wouldn't happen soon, but that they may start charging fees to passengers who want face-to-face customer service. Spirit would first have to get its technology to the point where all routine check-ins can be handled through an automatic kiosk.
I'm really upset actually because a $100 ticket all of a sudden becomes a $140 ticket. What's the point of that? I thought it was a cheap airline,
Talk to a human and they charge me a nominal fee, which I think they would because they are lower, then it's okay.
Now, Spirit says this, along with the carry-on baggage fees, is all part of their plan to charge the lowest possible fares and give passengers the power to purchase the services they want. Live in Fort Lauderdale, I'm Kristen Kane for The Morning Show.
All right, thanks a lot, Chris. Coming up, sorrow lingers this morning following a deadly shooting spree at a Connecticut business. What cops believe may have been the motive.
I'd like to thank the Packers for giving me an opportunity as well. I hope that every penny.
Oh man, it's deja vu in the sports world. Looks like Brett Favre is calling it quits again. Should we believe him this time? Maybe a look back at Favre's history will give us the answer. Plus, today's SFL Says are just moments away, but first, what you can expect on Wall Street.
Good morning. Here's a look at stories making headlines coast to coast. Cops say a newly ousted employee killed 9 people, including himself, and wounded 2 others during a shooting spree at a Connecticut beer distributor. Cops say 34-year-old Omar Thornton had just been given a choice between quitting or being fired after he was caught stealing beer. Witnesses say while he was being escorted out of the building, Thornton pulled out a handgun and started blasting. When he stopped firing, cops say Thornton called his mother to say goodbye, then turned the gun on himself. Thornton had complained of racial harassment to his supervisors, but hadn't been in trouble at work before. Well, this could be the beginning of the end of the Gulf oil disaster, and we certainly hope so. Right now, BP is in the middle of the static kill procedure that could seal the well once and for all. It involves slowly pumping mud and cement into the ruptured well about a mile below the surface. The procedure could be finished as early as today, but engineers won't know for more than a week if it actually worked. Regardless, though, the gusher will also be plugged from the bottom through a relief well. The government says about 206 million gallons of oil leaked from the well before it was capped. A big controversy to talk about in the Big Apple as New York City commissioners clear the way for an Islamic center and mosque to be built near Ground Zero. The vote was 9-0 against granting landmark status to a building sitting on the proposed site. Well, now it will be torn down for the controversial project. There were angry shouts inside the chamber right after the vote. Many New Yorkers are outraged at the location, calling it a slap in the face to 9/11 victims. The lead developer on the project says religious freedom gives them the right to build there. I'm Kristen Anderson. It's 5:11, and that's a look at stories making headlines coast to coast. Back to you, Dave.
All right, thanks, Kristen. Well, Jeff joined me for this one because it's so big, epic proportions. It is a story we've seen play out time and time and time again.
Favre watch.
Yeah, it's like Old Faithful. You can almost set your clock to it. You know the story, right?
I think we all know why I'm here. It was never about the money or fame or the records. I've given everything I possibly can give to this organization, to the game of football, and I don't think I got anything left to give.
And the Oscar goes to Brett Favre.
I know, except for the year after that.
And the year after that. That was NFL QB Brett Favre struggling through a retirement speech from the Green Bay Packers. Back in 2008, he said he had nothing left to give following a historic run with the team. But we all know what happened next. A few months later, he showed up in New York Jets training camp, hoping maybe he could win just one more Super Bowl. Favre and Gang Green, they would make the playoffs. He had a decent year. They were rudely ousted from the postseason following a Favre interception. So we all waited to see if he would play one more year, and then this happened.
I couldn't ask for anything more. It was worth a shot for me to go to New York. I wish I could have played better down the stretch. I didn't. And it's time to leave.
So Favre retired again, this time no major press conference, just a humble phone call, but then this happened. A few months later, he was in Vikings camp. Favre joined the Purple People Eaters, a team loaded with talent, hoping to wash out the bitter taste of his last playoff loss. And much to his dismay, he would throw yet another late interception in the playoffs and never make it to the Super Bowl.
I'm telling you, always ends in interceptions. I think even when no one remembers that he was with the Atlanta Falcons, interception. That was
back
his last.
In the day?
Yeah.
Really?
And you know who I think this was music to their ears? LeBron James. We have yet another villain now in the sporting world. LeBron James can go on vacation now.
Good for you, LeBron. So again, we're forced to wait, and Tuesday we apparently sort of maybe kind of got an answer. There are reports swirling around that Favre has once again announced his retirement, but get this time he apparently did it via text message to his teammates because it's 2010. Nobody calls anybody anymore.
He should have tweeted it.
He probably will. Favre has not confirmed the reports yet, and there's still a lot of speculation if it's true, and if it is true, if he'll even stay retired for long. All right, you're a betting man. How's the wind these days?
I'm looking at that video. I remember the video from 2008 where he's crying, and I think I might have felt for him then, but I mean, this is boy who cried wolf, or really grown man who cried wolf. At this point, I mean, how many times are we going to go through this? I know the coach from the Vikings, I'm excited for football, you can tell. The coach from the Vikings visits with him just 3 days ago. No indication that you're not going to play for the team that is waiting for you. I mean,
doesn't it kind of make Brad Childress, the head coach of the Vikings, look pretty bad?
I think
if in fact he is retiring and he did it via text to his teammates but didn't bother to tell the head coach, and yesterday the head coach was like, well, I still don't know yet.
And we've heard all of this hatred about LeBron in Cleveland, who was at the end of his contract, by the way.
Right.
You know, Brett's supposed to play another year, and what about the Vikings fans? Ridiculous.
Maybe Brett Favre could play for the Cavaliers for basketball. We'll just leave it at
Maybe
that.
The Dolphins. Who knows now, right? Seriously, it's anybody's guess. All right, you want to talk about the weather?
I would love to.
Somehow I'm going to work Brett Favre into this weather forecast. All right, let's take a look at Precision Doppler HD. Basically, to start your weekend out, you're going to have some really nice weather. However, we've got to get through the next couple of days here. Yeah, it's going to be a wet couple of days, and I think you can see here on Precision Doppler HD some of that rain getting awfully close to A1A and then eventually 98. Now, I got good news. I was talking about some shower activity. Let me put this back into motion. You can see, let me start that first frame. That's about 60 minutes ago, right? You can see some lightning associated with this. Now, as this rain pushes towards shore, it's losing a little bit of its steam. However, now to the north of Fort Lauderdale, we're seeing a little bit of shower activity. Over towards Lighthouse Point, I can tell you some rain going to be making it over towards A1A in roughly 5 to 6 minutes. So we will see some showers this morning, very similar to what we saw actually on your Tuesday. In fact, just about as much widespread rain. You can see over here now, if you're leaving your house, going from Fort Lauderdale down towards Miami, guess what? Again, Interstate 95, you're going to run into a little bit of rainfall in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Looks like Hollywood may stay dry for a couple minutes longer out there. So that's good news for Chris Kane, who is out there at the airport, as you saw. Let me put this into motion the last 6 hours. You can really start to see those showers popping up. Here's what's basically going to happen. We're going to have AM showers on the Atlantic coast. We're going to have those afternoon showers pop up in the interior and move over towards the west coast. So believe it or not, east of the Turnpike, things are going to get better as the day goes on. So, wet couple of days ahead, right? We're talking about a 50-60% chance of showers this morning on the Atlantic coast. Meanwhile, 20 to 30% chance in the afternoon. Those chances increase on the Gulf Coast. Good news, though, high pressure going to slide back into the area. Translation, drier towards the end of the week. And yes, remember that tropical storm that was with us for less than 24 hours? Yeah, that was Colin, and it fizzled out. Interestingly enough, as I was saying all morning on the morning show, wasn't really looking all that impressive to me. I don't think you heard me say once it was looking very impressive. These thunder showers over the course of the last hour or two look more impressive than what Colin looked like yesterday. However, you still can't see any sort of rotation or any convective bands. I'm going to tell you right now, this is, here's Colin. Let me get rid of that. This general track still going to be the name of the game as it kind of moves in that general direction, taking that turn to the north. Now, here's the key. Conditions do look favorable, not in the next day, but by the weekend, conditions could appear favorable for some regeneration. So we're not done with Colin just yet. However, for right now, we're pretty much out of the woods here. Maybe made a little too much of a big deal about that. 82 degrees in Fort Lauderdale right now, and 90 degrees. That's what we expect. Morning showers with some lunchtime sunshine. I'll have your extended forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Meanwhile, back over to you, Dave.
Thank you, Jeff. It seems like this has been the summer of love, at least in the world of celebrities. Everyone from Chelsea Clinton to Alicia Keys to Carrie Underwood has tied the knot, and it got us thinking, are these women all going to take their husbands' last names? In fact, when it comes to holy matrimony, should the woman always take her husband's last name no matter what? Or, in the case of Jay-Z, maybe it should be the other way around. Although nobody seems to know for sure, rumors abound that after that couple right there tied the knot, Jay-Z, a.k.a. Sean Carter, officially became Sean Knowles Carter, and Beyonce Knowles became Beyonce Knowles Carter. So why did Jay-Z do it? According to a source, the move ensures that the Knowles name will live on since Beyonce's parents have no sons, and Beyonce's sister Solange's child carries his father's last name. So, is Jay-Z merely the most chivalrous man alive, or could this be a new trend? In other words, when a couple gets married, this is our SFL Says today, does the woman always have to take her husband's last name? Maybe the husband should take hers? And more to the point, if she doesn't take his last name, does he have the right to be offended? That is what we're asking you this morning. What do you think? How do you weigh in? Are you hyphenated in your marriage? Call us 877-5050-735. Text us at 23539. Send us an email, feedback@southflorida.com. You can be our fan on Facebook. We already have a bunch of comments about this on Facebook, so you can go there and read them. And you can follow us on Twitter at WSFL. Get your comments in. Let us know what you think. Still to come, fitness freaks everywhere are jumping on the P90X bandwagon, but desires to get ripped could lead you right into a huge ripoff. That story coming up in just a bit.
And I'm Eugene Ramirez. Ahead, it's Wyclef for president, and a certain moon man thinks Lady Gaga is completely out of this world. All that and more when we talk what's happening in Hollywood next.
If I was president, I'd get elected expected on Friday.
5:22 now, and here's a look at what's happening in the world of entertainment this morning. Hip-hop singer Wyclef Jean, he may have his eyes set on Haiti's presidential palace. There are reports that Wyclef is going to run in the country's November elections. So far, his camp is only saying he plans to make an announcement in Haiti tomorrow night. So he's no stranger to the Haitian people. He's very popular there, not only for his music, but also for his charity work. He helped raise millions of dollars after the January earthquake that killed 300,000 people. Dozens of candidates are expected to run, and all of them must register by Saturday. So far, the singer hasn't filed the official paperwork. Don't hold your breath to find out who's going to be the next judges on American Idol. That's because host Ryan Seacrest says it could be weeks before any announcement is made. During contestant auditions in New Jersey Tuesday, Seacrest said he didn't know how big the panel will turn out to be. You'll remember that the show actually started with 3 judges and then they expanded to 4, so what's next? Who knows? He also said he misses Simon Cowell, who was, quote, his roommate while on the road for auditions. And here's another American Idol shakeup. Universal Music Group, they said Tuesday that they're replacing Sony Music Entertainment as the label that's going to sign the show's finalists. And it was over before it even began. Bristol Palin tells People magazine that her second engagement with her baby daddy, Levi Johnston, is off. It all went downhill after reports that Levi might have fathered another baby with another ex-girlfriend, though that girl has since denied that he's the baby's father. Then there was that music video, you know, the one that he plays the part of a guy whose girlfriend's mother doesn't approve of the relationship. Sound familiar? Yes, it does. Well, he lied about that shooting in L.A., telling Bristol that he was out there to see a hunting show, and it looks like Princess Palin has been played once again. The MTV Video Music Awards nominations are out, and it's Lady Gaga who's at the top. Lady Gaga is up for 13 Moon Man Awards, including Best Pop Video, Best Female Video, and Best Dance Video, all for Bad Romance. The 24-year-old star is now the first female artist to have 2 videos nominated in the Video of the Year category, both Bad Romance and Telephone, which you're seeing there on your screen, and she has the most nominations ever in a VMA show, making history there, Lady Gaga. Up-and-comers like Kesha and B.O.B. also received numerous nominations. Eminem is the most nominated male artist at this year's VMAs with a total of 8, including Best Male Video and Video of the Year. And the VMAs will be held on September 12th in Los Angeles. 5:25 now. Here's Dave.
All right, thanks a lot, Eugene. Hey, we want you to be our fan on Facebook if you haven't done so yet. So here's what you do. You go to southflorida.com, you scroll down, you click on that Facebook button right there. It's in the middle of our homepage. And then you're getting your latest news and your hot topics right to you in your news feed. That and more when you become a fan of The Morning Show. Also, how about a quick shout out this morning to our Facebook fan of the day. Today it is Susanna Bustamante. Congratulations, Susanna. Thank you so much for watching The Morning Show. Straight ahead, produce is a key to a healthy diet, but it can be a problem when the product goes bad before you can even ingest it. So coming up, Dr. Steve will have some produce picking tips.
And from the Sun Sentinel News Desk, how a vacation for one Parkland family quickly turned into a nightmare.
It's 5:29 on this Wednesday, hump day, August 4th. I'm Dave Azer. Jeff Melkar standing by with your look at the local forecast. Jeffrey?
Yeah, you know, we saw that Chris Kane out at the airport a little bit earlier, and I swear she's got this Mother Nature force field, so good for you, Chris. You should probably patent that and sell it, because I tell you, there was some rain headed right their way over towards the airport. Now it's to the north of Lauderdale by the sea, just to the south of Boca. Let me throw this thing into motion a little bit, because it could impact that morning commute. I tell you, if you're heading down to Miami, definitely some rain headed your way over there. And then again, zooming into the airport, nothing really going on. However, again, just to the north of Fort Lauderdale, Deerfield Beach, definitely seeing a little bit of rainfall along A1A. It's heading towards Interstate 95. So much like we saw on your Tuesday, some rain could wet those roads. May want to allow a little extra time to get where you are going. Here's the last 6 hours, and you can see even more showers out there about 50 miles out. So Could be a little bit of a wet morning commute, and by the time you actually get out the door, say you're leaving 6:37, you may have to allow a little extra time again. However, I'm not going to be the bearer of just bad news. It's Wednesday. Your weekend is right around the corner. I've got some good news for that. Plus, I'll give you the latest on what is left of Colin. No longer a tropical storm, mind you. But you know what? Talking about these morning showers. What happens if they come in the afternoon? The morning show's not on the air. Here's what you do. You head over to southflorida.com/weather. You get everything you need right there at the top. That's your extended forecast. You can see there's today, there's tomorrow, and then, well, quite frankly, just gave away your weekend forecast right there. You scroll down, you basically can see, well, a fully interactive radar, so you can see where those storms are and when they're going to impact you. southflorida.com/weather. All right, back to you.
Thank you, Jeff. It's time now for your morning fix of news headlines. We go to Kristen Anderson standing by live in the Sun Sentinel News Desk. Kristen.
Good morning to you. Here's a look at some of the big stories we're following for you right now. A young South Florida girl is in critical condition this morning after a family vacation ended in a catastrophe. What was supposed to be just a few seconds of an adrenaline rush on a theme park ride ended with her fighting for her life. The morning show's Wayne Rooston has the story.
This is the way things are supposed to go on the terminal velocity. The rider is put into a harness and dropped 140 feet to a safety net held 40 feet above the ground. But that's not how it happened for Tegan Marty. The 12-year-old Parkland girl plunged all the way to the ground in front of her horrified family.
We're very hopeful, and we're just happy she's alive.
These pictures taken just moments before Marty's fall Friday at Extreme World Amusements in Madison, Wisconsin. Investigators say the net was still on the ground when the girl's harness was released. Now she's in critical condition, facing a surgery that could last as long as 9 hours.
Try to fuse the multiple fractures throughout her neck and back. But she's awake, and she's communicating with us with her eye movements.
Doctors say Marty's actual spinal cord is still intact. She's moving her right hand a little bit, but there's no way for them or her heartbroken father to know if or how much she will recover.
There's an extremely high probability that she will be paralyzed at some level.
Her father says Tegan saw the terminal velocity ride on the Travel Channel, and his normally quiet and reserved daughter had been talking about going on it for months. She finally got her chance, but what was supposed to be a momentary thrill will have consequences for the rest of her life.
When we saw that, I assumed she was dead right there. And it's a miracle. I think it's a miracle.
I'm Wayne Rooston for The Morning Show.
Investigators say operator error caused that accident. They're looking into whether criminal charges will be filed. Meanwhile, the park is reopened, but the ride, Terminal Velocity, is still closed. The park's owner says the rides are thoroughly inspected every single day. A South Florida student in the Slammer charged with having sex with an underage girl. Cops say 18-year-old Louis Jerome Green did the deed with a 13-year-old girl at a Pompano Beach hotel. He was arrested Monday night. He is being held on $50,000 bond. Many parents not too happy when it comes to Florida's sales tax holiday, saying it's too late and too short. Traditionally, the tax-free fest starts in late July and lasts 9 or 10 days. Well, this year it's August 13th through the 15th, considerably shorter. That's just days before school starts on the 17th in Miami-Dade and Palm Beach counties. Some private schools start classes before the tax holiday even begins. The tax exemption applies to supplies costing less than $10 and most clothing under $50. The holiday's been suspended the past 2 years because of the statewide budget crunch. I'm Kristen Anderson, and those are just some of the latest headlines in South Florida. The Morning Show and the Sun Sentinel have partnered together to bring you breaking news alerts. It's free. Just go to southflorida.com. Click on the alerts box on the right side of our homepage. You can even use your Facebook or your Google account to sign up. It's 5:34. Back to you, Dave.
Thanks a lot, Kristen. Are you having trouble picking your produce? Dr. Steve offers tips on how to buy smarter to prevent spoilage.
Hi, I'm Dr. Steve Salvatore with your health key tip. When shopping for fruits and vegetables, look for green stems and an overall color you'd expect. Firm is better than soft, and if it smells sour, it's probably starting to go bad. Go to healthkey.com for more great tips and information.
And Dr. Steve will join us as usual during the 7 o'clock with more great health advice. All right, it is Win It Wednesday on The Morning Show. And today we are giving away a $50 gift card to GBS, the beauty store. All you have to do is enter by watching in our 7 a.m. hour today. Look for the keyword and text that keyword to 23539. Again, Watch today at 7 for your chance to win. Good luck. Ahead, we've all seen those commercials. The P90X home gym promises to get you ripped. But why are so many people saying they're getting ripped off? That story next.
And Kanye West only follows one single person on Twitter. Find out who it is and what that person has to say coming up next in your Hot Clicks.
I don't mean to spoil it for you, but it's me. And there is lots coming up at our 6 o'clock hour. All right, it's not me. Producer Kelly Ayers joins us now from the newsroom with the scoop.
Hey, thanks, Steve. Well, there's a new smartphone on the market. We'll tell you about that. A glass of iced sweet tea sounds delish, right? Why it could be bad for your health. Also at 6, we put Master of Magic Chris Angel in our SFL hot seat to see if he can master our questions. And a Florida man drunk dials 911. All that and more at 6.
It's 5:38. Maybe you're doing your morning workout. Perhaps you're going to indulge in some P90X. Well, people wanting to get ripped are getting ripped off. Online fake websites posing as the popular home workout plan P90X are scamming people left and right. One site was so believable that even a reporter with our TV station in Dallas got duped. Check it out.
Keep going. If you can keep going, find your maximum reps.
The thing about P90X, it's kind of expensive, about $140 for a dozen workout DVDs, a nutritional guide, and fitness calendar. So when I found this website, P90Xpopular.com, promising all of this for only $54, I was in. The site looked legit enough, so I entered my credit card number and placed my order. When I never got the DVDs, I tried to get a hold of customer service. There was no phone number to call, only the option to send an email. I did get a response telling me to enter my order number on this website, Worldwide Express Mail Service out of China. It didn't work. My card did get charged by a company called BJLZC Limited, a shoe store in Shenzhen, China.
Websites that come up in China and to some of the former Soviet countries are rampant. And we literally take out hundreds of websites every single week, and unfortunately hundreds of new ones pop up.
Jonathan Gelfand says the P90X piracy problem is so bad, he is in Washington, D.C. as we speak, working with Congress and the Chinese government to shut these sites down.
We want significant jail time. We want significant financial penalties to really let people know that there is a price to pay if you get caught doing piracy.
So after all of this, I decided to order P90X again from the real website, and here's what it looks like. It's on beachbody.com. You can see it looks a lot like the fake site. And representatives from the Beachbody company tell us that these fake sites are making as much as $1 million a week, ripping off people just like me.
Man, that has just got to just drive you crazy, doesn't it? It is up to the consumer to do research if they're going to buy from an unauthorized dealer. But to make sure that you're not getting scammed, you should purchase P90X from the official Beachbody website. Just like Jeff did, and look at the results. He's only been on it for a week.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
So true. I am ripped, man. Can you tell?
Underneath that blazer, it's
Thank
just
you.
a flurry of muscles.
Scary.
All right, so our SFL says once again this morning, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about this. If a couple gets married, is it always incumbent upon the woman to take the husband's last name? Should you, as a woman, always take your husband's last name?
Yes.
Not yes?
I'm kidding,
okay,
no.
stand by for that.
All right.
Maybe there are occasions when you shouldn't. All right, so we've been asking you what you think. Here's a comment we got on our Facebook wall. This is from Bianca, who says, the point of getting married is a promise to be together through hard times and happy times, not carrying a last name. It should not be a problem at all. All right, so Bianca's like, it's just a name. What's the big deal?
Gotcha.
Here's another comment. Kelly Farr says, it depends. Will he be offended if you keep his name when and if you divorce? I kept my married name when I got divorced, and him and his family are furious. That's a great point.
That's really interesting. I never even thought of that. I think it's whoever has the best cooking skills. That's the name you should take. Seriously.
Fascinating.
Thank you very much.
So
That's my
Emerald
comment. Yeah.
would get to Legacy.
Oh,
but
I'd be Jeff Legacy in a finger snap. Done.
If you married Emerald?
Yeah.
Good. Breaking news. But if you married Martha Stewart, you'd be Jeff Stewart.
Absolutely.
By that discussion.
Hey, man, I stick to what I'm saying. But no, honestly, I just think things have changed so much from generation to generation. You know, like my grandparents, it wasn't even a question. My parents, it wasn't even a question. And just things have changed. You know what I mean?
Sure. Well,
so
you know, there's a lot of hyphenation of last names
Valid
too,
point. Yeah,
which
Facebook.
I understand. You know, if a woman, you know, if she wants to keep her family name going too, I mean, I get that. But here's the problem with hyphenating last names. Remember Scantrons when you were a kid in school?
Ooh, yeah.
That's
Not
a
enough
lot of
bubbles.
work for a kid to do. That's a lot of bubble filling in.
Not enough bubbles. I suppose it's probably a little piece of the identity. I have a last name that is so hard to pronounce, I wouldn't wish it on anyone with a spelling thing. So maybe that's what it should be. If it's Smith, take it.
Well,
for
as
sure.
we move from this to weather, though, breaking news, you're in love with Emerald and going to try and marry him.
So actually,
good luck.
Call me, which is harder to say. Jeff Legassi here with your Wake Up weather. Let's check out Precision Doppler HD, shall we? Yeah, I tell you, we got a little bit of rain moving on in to, northern, basically a little bit further to the north of Fort Lauderdale. Once again, some showers are making a beeline for Fort Lauderdale International Airport, and guess what? Those have dissipated. Now we're talking about some shower activity just to the south of Boca. You know what? The best way to do this, and again, right by Lighthouse Point, we're seeing some rainfall move in. Now this stuff's moving in pretty quick. What's going on? I can actually zoom out a little bit, show you what's going on in the Atlantic because there's more showers behind this. So you remember what happened on Tuesday? Kind of slowed that commute down. It was a little bit of a crazy traffic day out there. Well, guess what? That's going to happen again, where in the morning hours, we're going to see these showers popping up in the Atlantic. Moving ashore actually looks like a little bit even more of a mess than it did on Tuesday, and definitely more than Monday. Good news coming as we sail on through the rest of the week, but definitely morning showers here on the Atlantic coast. Meanwhile, we're going to have the afternoon showers popping up in the interior, sliding on over towards the west coast. Again, very similar to what we saw on Tuesday, quite frankly. So a wet couple of days coming our way. 50-60% chance of showers this morning. A little bit less, like I said, on the Atlantic coast in the afternoon. The good news, my friend, high pressure rolling in, drier towards the end of the week. And oh yeah, we did have a tropical storm on our hands for about, I don't know, 12 hours or so. That was Colin. Remember him? Yeah, exactly. Not many other people do either. There is what is left of Colin. And quite frankly, if we could zoom in a little bit here, looking a little more impressive. A larger system, actually, than what we saw when it was officially a tropical storm. However, again, no banding going on. This thing got sheared apart. It really was hauling at a quick clip, and because of that, basically just really getting affected by some upper-level winds. Now, basically, these remnants still looking to make that general track. This general track is what's going to be happening, and by the time it gets right about here, environmental conditions appear to become a little better. So we might not be done with Colin just yet, but some regeneration possible maybe over the weekend. Right now in Fort Lauderdale, how about 82 degrees? It's another warm one. Again, as you can see over at the airport, no rain right now, but to the north about 10-15 miles, you're going to be getting a little bit of rain on Interstate 95. So again, watch out for that. 90 degrees today, morning showers, lunchtime sunshine, and as we zoom in for your backyard forecast over in Coral Springs, save the barbecue for the weekend. You'll be glad you did. 91 degrees today for a high temperature in Coral Springs. 80 degrees tonight. Overnight showers once again possible as we have a similar setup in place for tomorrow. But as you can see, as we look at the extended forecast, we're going to dry things out Friday into Saturday, bump those temperatures up a couple of degrees above average on Saturday thanks to a little extra sunshine. All right, there's your forecast. Back over to you, Eugene.
Thanks, Jeff. I actually just had a viewer write me on Facebook asking me about my shirt and where it was from. So Alex Lass, first of all, thanks for the compliment, and it's Hugo Boss. We just found out for you. Let's talk about what's really hot on the web this morning, and it's all about unsolicited or unwanted attention on Twitter. Most of us want people to follow us and to talk to us and interact with us on Twitter. Somebody says, I don't want this kind of attention, and this is why. Kanye West, he has 400,000 followers on Twitter, but he randomly started following just one person, and that person is Stephen Holmes of Coventry, England. And while at first Holmes was amused, even nervous about the occurrence, saying that he was going to be cautious now about what he tweeted because Kanye was watching, now Holmes, well, he isn't exactly digging all this attention. Earlier this week, he tweeted, just to clarify, I won't be speaking to any more press or journalists. And then Kanye replied to him, you are the chosen one, done, done, done. Holmes, just picked up thousands of more followers after this, but like he said recently, it was on Monday when he tweeted that, he does not want all the media calling him and all this attention. Sorry, Holmes, we had to do the story. By the way, if you want to follow him on Twitter, it's STE_101. That's his email address. We're checking out also the top single songs that are selling on iTunes. And of course, I hate to sound like a broken record here, but Eminem and Rihanna, again here on top. We're talking about, of course, their hit, Love the Way You Lie. It also happens to be on the top of the Billboard Hot 100 chart for a second week in a row since knocking out Katy Perry's California Girls, which held that top spot for 6 weeks. So will they do it? We'll have to wait and see. Four more weeks to go there for them to tie California Girls. Here's the number 2 here, Tayo Cruz. He might love the British pound, but he is loving the American dollar because his dance track is in the top 3 for a 6th week in a row, coming in at number 2 on the top selling singles on iTunes. And finally, he can thank the Jersey Shore lovers for this one. Enrique Iglesias, I Like It, comes in at number 3. He could, of course, thank the Jersey Shore cast because it is a theme song for season 2, which was filmed right here in South Florida. Sports tricks are a popular theme in viral videos, and the same goes for one of today's clips. But here's a question. Is it real? You can decide for yourself in today's viral video Volts. No way! It's been dubbed the world's farthest basketball shot, and the makers of this video, the legendary Shots, claim they made a shot off of the Vulcan Monument in Birmingham, Alabama. Is it real? If it is, Pat Riley better start making some phone calls here. Maybe we're going to have a fearless foursome on the Heat instead of a trifecta like we have now. Wow. You can submit your own viral videos. We might even air them here on the show. To do that, submit them at southflorida.com/videos. 5:49 now. Here's Dave.
I think that was real. That was cool. I don't know how many times it took him to make it, but cool nonetheless. All right, coming up tomorrow on the morning show, say goodbye to boring and plain. We'll show you how to make the walls in your home really pop using paint. Mommy blogger Ann Vasquez will go over mistakes mom and dads make when disciplining their kids. And if your little one is all grown up and going to college, we're going to show you some dorm design ideas to make their room feel like a home away from home. Plenty more to get to. Does Josh Johnson have a legit shot at winning the Cy Young Award? Hear what national sports broadcaster Joe Buck has to say about it.
Good morning, Broward County. Here's a look at news happening in your neighborhood. Manatee supporters outnumbered boating advocates at a public hearing Tuesday on possible changes to speed zones on Broward County waterways. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission is considering changes to speed zones, hoping to protect the beloved sea cow. The Broward County Commission has set up a committee of boaters and environmentalists to review the proposals. A stand against deadly violence in Margate, the city participated in the National Night Out Against Crime campaign held annually in cities across the country. The demonstration shows support for police and safe neighborhoods. It was the 10th time Margate held an anti-crime rally, and it seemed more like a county fair. The National Association of Town Watch has repeatedly recognized Margate for the city's commitment to crime prevention programs. Staying in Margate, the city's Pony All-Star baseball team is headed to the South Zone Championship Tournament in Texas. A few days ago, the Broward Ball Club improved to 16-0 and captured the Southeast Regional title with an 8-5 victory over South Tampa. The Margate All-Stars have won 4 tournaments. The winner of the 10-team tourney in Texas will advance to the Pony World Series in Washington, Pennsylvania. That's it for Neighborhood News. Now over to Dave.
Who knows, maybe some future Marlins on that team. Crucial series for the Marlins at Sun Life Stadium with the Marlins hosting the Philadelphia Phillies. All right, bottom of the second, 2-0 Phils when Dan Uggla continues his home run tear. Boy, has this guy been on fire. Deep left and over the wall for the solo homer. Phillies lead cut to 1. But top of the fourth, Roy Halladay. Are you kidding? He shows off his batting skills with the bases loaded. That's just not fair. Hits it down the left field line. That brings in 2 runners, and the Phillies are on top 4-1. But you don't know about Halladay for his hitting. You know it for his pitching. And Well, man, the guy is one of the best in baseball. He looked good on the mound, and the Phillies would cruise to a 6-1 victory over the Marlins. Well, South Florida has a dual threat all their own, All-Star Josh Johnson, and he's made his share of headlines as well, but probably not as many as he should. Johnson is a dark horse in this year's Cy Young Award race, and I got the chance to talk with baseball broadcaster Joe Buck about JJ's chances of winning the award. We may not win the World Series down here, but we got Josh Johnson. Do you think he could win the Cy Young in the National League?
Well, I'll tell you, I don't get a vote, but he's a guy that I literally try to find on my television to watch pitch. And I finally got to see him in the All-Star game when he was pitching for the National League and talking to some of the hitters that he faces, guys that I know on the Cardinals and other teams. They'll tell you he is the filthiest pitcher in the game.
All right, it is a showdown of the Big Six. You see, Big 3 plus Big 3 equals 6. The Big 3 of the Boston Celtics facing the new Big 3 of the Miami Heat in the Heat's season opener. The NBA schedule is out, and the Heat season will begin in Boston. Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and Chris Bosh will take on Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, and Kevin Garnett on October 26th, and that game will be followed by another road game in Philadelphia. In case you're wondering, the home opener, October 29th, against the Magic. Other key games for the Heat include a LeBron James visit to Cleveland on December 2nd. That should be fun to watch. And a possible NBA Finals preview on Christmas Day against the Lakers in Los Angeles. Don't forget, southflorida.com/sports is where you go for your sports news, scores, stats, info, and more. And there you can read Dan Marino's take on Brett Favre's apparent retirement. That is on southflorida.com/sports.
Coming up in the 6 o'clock hour of the morning show, they could be the hottest fashion trend this fall. We're going to show you the shoes that everybody will be talking about. And you probably drunk dialed someone before, but probably not 911. Hear what he asked the operator that eventually got him arrested. We've got the tape.
All right, and that morning commute may be taking a little bit longer than what you want it to take. I'll tell you why coming up in just a few minutes with your full forecast on the morning show.
You're watching the morning show from the Sun Sentinel News Desk. A new smartphone is hitting the market, while it could mean some stiff competition for the iPhone and Droid.
And it's a popular summer drink, but could sweet tea actually be bad for your health? You'll want to hear this story before you have your next cup. 5:59 on the morning show. It's Wednesday, August 4th. Happy hump day to you. And how will your Wednesday weather shape up or shake down or whatever expression you'd like to
sideways.
use? Do you prefer shape up, shake down? Would you like
Shape up,
something
shake
else?
down, shake sideways. It's going to slow down. First, though, Kristen Anderson, I'm assuming you're paying attention. If you could text me about that new smartphone, I'd love it. I want the information first before the viewers. Sorry. Fort Lauderdale up towards Boca. I will tell you this much right now. Remember that maybe that morning commute was a little bit annoying for you on your Tuesday. Yeah, maybe it took you a little extra time. Well, guess what? It could be one of those days to skip that second cup of coffee because we do, unfortunately, have some more rain heading our way. Actually, I already saw some rain falling Pompano Beach up towards Boynton Beach. Now, what does that mean for the rest of the day? Well, like I said, for the morning, here's what's going to happen here. We're going to have these afternoon showers on the West Coast, but the morning shower is going to be with us for another hour or so, and there's more where that came from. How much more? Well, I'll let you know coming up in a few minutes, but unable to get to the extended forecast, I want to make sure you see the good news, right? Because I sound like a glass is half empty kind of guy. Glass is half full right here. Check out the way your weekend is shaping up. Things are looking good as we dry things out towards the weekend. But what about Colin? Well, the latest on Colin and the rest of the tropics are coming up in a few minutes. But first, back to you.
And now time to get your morning fix of the latest headlines. So we'll check in with Kristen Anderson. She's at the Sun Sentinel News Desk. Kristen.
Thanks, Dave. Good morning to you. A very disturbing story to talk about out of Homestead this morning. A 23-year-old father is charged with beating his 2-year-old son. Homestead police say Lee DeJesus admitted to hitting the toddler repeatedly for 15 minutes during, quote, boxing lessons. He says the child hit his head on the wall and floor when he fell, but DeJesus didn't seek help for at least 30 minutes. Little Willie Brown was airlifted to Miami Children's Hospital, where he's on life support with severe brain damage. The Miami Herald and several other news stations are reporting the child has died. Family and neighbors say DeJesus has a history of violence. He's charged with aggravated child abuse and child neglect. Family and friends gather to remember a loved one involved in an apparent double suicide in Parkland. The memorial for 24-year-old Michaela Baldomero was held at the Actors Studio in Coral Springs Tuesday night. That's where she performed as a teenager. Some friends shared food, memories, and even recreated short plays they used to perform with her. Baldomero was found hanging in Parkland July 19th with friend Joseph Brown in Terramar Park. She died in the hospital days later. A criminal scandal takes down yet another South Florida politician. Palm Beach County Commissioner Jeff Coons resigned Tuesday, just hours after being arrested on extortion charges. Prosecutors say Coons tried to intimidate opponents of his Pet South Cove environmental project. He allegedly cussed his way through a voicemail message to one of them. Tuesday, he let his lawyer read his apology.
As only Jeff could state it, and I quote, "I screwed up big time, and I blame no one but myself. I have shamed my family, my friends, and my community."
Coons says he will plead guilty. He's expected to cut a deal with prosecutors. The 62-year-old is the fourth Palm Beach County Commissioner forced out of office since 2006. Well, many Spirit Airlines passengers are a little dispirited this morning after finding out they may have to pay for more than just their carry-on luggage. The Morning Show's Kristen Kane is live at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport with more on this. Chris, say it ain't so. Every time you hear Spirit, it's something different.
I know, Kristen, I know. And as you said, passengers are definitely a little dispirited this morning. First, the carry-on baggage fees, and now Spirit Airlines passengers may actually have to pay to talk to a ticket agent at the gate. Passengers are already outraged for having to pay for their carry-on baggage, and now Spirit passengers may be looking at yet another fee, talking with a ticket agent face to face.
I think it's ridiculous. They shouldn't charge you. They shouldn't even charge you for your luggage to carry on.
Spirit CEO says he is considering a new fee for in-person assistance. He says while it won't happen anytime soon, he says they are exploring the technology that would make it possible for an airport kiosk to handle all necessary customer check-ins at the airport. Passengers, however, are not thrilled with the idea of a FaceTime fee.
Traveling, you can't really do everything yourself. You need help. In any kind of hospitality, you need help. Yeah, their prices are reasonable, but it's taxing.
I'm really upset actually because, like, you know, a $100 ticket all of a sudden becomes a $140 ticket.
I don't think that talking to anybody at Spirit's going to do you any good anyway, so they're pretty disorganized actually.
Well, at least one person we talked to thought it was reasonable.
If I talk to a human and they charge me a nominal fee, which I think they would because they are lower, then it's okay.
Now, Spirit says this, along with the carry-on baggage fees, is all part of their plan to charge the lowest possible fares and give passengers the power to purchase the services they want. Live in Fort Lauderdale, I'm Kristen Kane for The Morning Show.
Thanks, Chris. It still makes me mad, though. I just hear higher prices and I get mad. All right, I'm Kristen Anderson. That's a look at your latest headlines. The Morning Show and the Sun Sentinel have partnered together to bring you breaking news alerts. It's absolutely free. Just go to southflorida.com and click on the alerts box. It's on the right side of our homepage. You can even use your Facebook or your Google account to sign up. It is 6:05. Back to you, Dave.
All right, thanks, Kristen. We're actually going to check back in with you in just a minute. We're talking about our SFL Says right now, which is this question. When a man and woman get married, should the woman always take the husband's last name no matter what? Perhaps maybe they can hyphenate, or maybe even the husband could take the wife's last name. That's what we're asking you this morning. Here's a comment we got on our Facebook wall from Maxine Joy Williams, who says, if it is two becoming one, then he wouldn't mind taking my last name. Just because you don't take his last name doesn't make you any less unified. Just like the wedding doesn't make the marriage, neither should a last name. All right, well, here is Susie Bishop, who also posted, then what's the point in even getting married? Hello, ladies. It's two becoming one. If you're not ready for it, don't say yes. Simple as that. All right, those are a couple of perspectives. Back now to Kristen. Kristen, where do you come in on all this? Should the wife always take the husband's last name?
Well, Dave, I know you get really annoyed when I have a split opinion, but I just have to tell you, I'm 90% the husband should just keep the name. I'm kind of old school, traditional. That's 90%. I want to take my husband's name when it happens, absolutely. But then there's that small window, that 10%, that is like, what if it's a terribly embarrassing, horrible last name?
Good point.
That goes so bad with Kristen.
Good point. Oh,
So-
you've uncovered a little gem right there, Kristen. I like it. Would you not marry someone because you didn't like their last name?
There's some bad ones out there.
Fascinating.
Some
All
little
right.
split.
Well, you know, of course, it harkens immediately to my mind. Meet the Parents. Would you marry a Fokker?
Oh my gosh, and how terrible is that? I can't even watch that movie without cringing and just saying, no, I've seen it so many times, but every time it's humiliating. So that's the 10%, Dave, no.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't do it.
All right, Kristen, good to know. So what I learned from all this was if you're an eligible man with a horrible last name, don't call Kristen Anderson. What do you think about this? Where do you stand? And I love the point that Kristen just brought up. What if it's a really unfortunate last name? Does that maybe change your perspective? Call us, text us, write us. Here's how, 877-50-5735. Text us, 23539. Send us an email, feedback@southflorida.com. Get us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter @WSFL.
Kristen Fokker, like that one. Coming up on the morning show, can an octopus really get an endorsement deal? Plus, we're going to show you what could be the hottest fashion trend this fall, but will you wear it? And also, the Virgin Mary wears couture? Bizarre stories coming up next right here on the morning show.
There won't be a big ceremony, but the war in Iraq is coming to an end, according to our president. I'm Larry Menti. In my commentary coming up, I asked the question, who won?
Hey, Cooper City, you are watching the morning show. How about a quick look right now at what you can expect on Wall Street this morning?
Happy Hump Day, 6:10 in the morning, and after soaring to fame during this summer's World Cup by correctly predicting the outcome of 8 out of 8 matches, Paul the Psychic Octopus, guess what? He has moved on to even bigger and better things, an advertising career. According to his agent, yes, he does have an agent, Paul has turned into a $1 million+ brand, already getting more than 160 offers to sell products. Also on Paul's agenda, a book deal, a plush toy contract, and a swim alongside soccer star David Beckham, and that's to promote England's bid for the 2018 World Cup. For now, however, Paul is just resting up at his home at the Sea Life Aquarium in Western Germany. A Russian woman is getting attention for the unusual way that she paints. Listen to this one. Victoria is putting her 38 double D cups to good use. She's been getting attention because of the unusual way she paints using her breasts. Oh my God, just look at the images here. That's pretty interesting. She says one night she dreamt of painting a beautiful flower with her breast. There she goes. And so she gave it a shot. And she says that her art raises more than a few smiles. She says her aim is to provoke emotion and create beauty and spark conversation. And I'm going to assume controversy as well. Can we just hang on to this picture for a second? Yeah, I hope you weren't having your breakfast. You see, they even got mad. They made me move to the next story. Ingenious or a fashion faux pas of epic proportions, you decide, as high-heeled UGG boots, that's right, I did say that, high-heeled Uggs, will make their debut at the Miss Universe pageant this month. Yikes. The controversial footwear that will represent Australia on the feet of their Miss Universe contestant Jacinta Campbell. The designer created the costume to capture what it means to be Australian, and the dress and shoes will go on display when the Donald Trump-owned pageant hits Sin City on August 23rd. The devil may wear Prada, but Mary, Mother of God, apparently wears Louis Vuitton. Yes, look at that picture right there. Roman designer Francesco de Molfetta is the brains behind the new statue of the Virgin Mary sporting Louis. The veil covering Mary's head bears the French luxury brand's trademark LV monogram logo, and the artwork is now currently on display in Rome, I'm sure causing an uproar among many, many faithful out there. Just when you think you've seen people perform the most extreme stunts ever, someone else comes along to do something even crazier, and we're showing it to you right now in today's viral video.
I've been a-traveling on, just traveling on.
I am a lonely and a wow. Do not try that anywhere. These stunts are obviously just very dangerous, and these guys are doing it without helmets, just nuts. It's a new sport, and it's a combination of parkour and ladders, and you can see this video. Wait, look at that. Is he jumping from balcony to balcony? Wow. Wow, this looks like an action movie. Where's Agent Salt? You can see viral videos like this one on southflorida.com/viral. You can also upload your own viral videos to our website. To do that, head on over to southflorida.com/videos. We might even show it right here on the morning show. 6:14 right now. Let's head on over to Jeff Melcars for your look at the morning's weather. Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm calling green screen on that. I might be calling shenanigans on that video right there. But yeah, really crazy things. I find it interesting that it was referred to as a sport. Must be on ESPN, the Ocho, any day now. But anyways, Fort Lauderdale down towards Hollywood. Guess what's coming your way? Yes, a little bit of rain. You can see that out there over the Atlantic. That's roughly about 21 miles away. So if I put this into motion, you can see a little bit of lightning way out over in the Atlantic. So the good news is that as it approaches the shore, these showers are weakening a little bit, but enough to cause a little bit of a headache, especially on Interstate 95. You know how congested this area from Hollywood south towards Miami can get if that's the way you go in the morning. And I tell you, some more moderate rainfall about 10 to 15 minutes away right now. So if you are headed in that general direction, my advice would be allow a little extra time and grab that second cup of coffee that you may normally want to hang out with at the at the kitchen table. You may want to bring it with you in the old to-go mug. But here we go. Here's the last 6 hours. You see what's going on. Showers popping up. For the most part, it appears to the north of Fort Lauderdale. But again, the AM shower is going to be over on the Atlantic coast. Meanwhile, the afternoon showers will be more relegated towards the interior and the west coast, Fort Myers, Naples. So we'll see some sunshine, it looks like, maybe around your noon lunchtime. I'd say most of this stuff should dissipate, much like we saw on Tuesday about 10 o'clock in the morning. Wet couple of days here, yeah, as a little bit of a low pressure kind of hangs around in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. High pressure going to roll back in and take over towards the end of the week, hence why it's going to be drier. And, hey, remember Tropical Storm Colin? Yeah, well, it's tough to remember him. He was here for about 12 hours. That's what's left. We got some remnants over here, and once again, sort of changes on an hourly basis. Look a little more impressive to me at about 4 or 5 o'clock this morning. But honestly, you know what? We were talking about this, and everybody was like, oh, wow, another tropical storm. I think if you were watching the morning show on your Tuesday, I never really had a lot of faith in what was going on with Colin. You never really saw that circulation, those convective bands. Got some thunder shower activity to the north of what was supposedly a closed circulation. But again, no well-defined circulation. And as of 5 p.m. in the afternoon on Tuesday, we stopped issuing advisories. Now, that said, these remnants going to go in this general direction. Hey, where'd my white line go? There we go. That general direction right there. As it takes that turn to the north, though, right about here, looks like things are going to get a little more conducive for further development. So we'll watch for some regeneration as we go into the weekend. Now, what about the rest of your forecast? Well, hey, I'll give that to you coming up in a few minutes, but first, back to you.
And it's time for our deal of the day. You and your family can save some money if you want to see Monster Jam. You can get 25% off tickets to the event when you use the promo code HEAT at checkout. For this and more deals to save you money, just check out southflorida.com/deals. It is 6:17 on the morning show. Is the war in Iraq really ending? In today's life, according to Larry Menti explains what may be the greatest lesson learned from the war.
It may be the most unceremonious and strangest end to a war in history, but the war in Iraq is ending this month, or so says President Obama.
By August 31st, 2010, America's combat mission in Iraq would end.
So combat operations are ending, but 50,000 troops are staying in Iraq. Where have we heard that before?
Major combat operations in Iraq have ended.
This time there won't be a mission accomplished banner or a big celebration in Times Square. The war will be over, and that's that. So I guess the big question is, did we win? Well, we did spend over $700 billion in Iraq that we could have used here, but there was a greater cost. Over 4,400 Americans died in Iraq, and remember, it's not over yet. We did easily take control of the country and rid the world of a vicious dictator who was torturing and killing his own people. We set up a friendly government, and Iraqis embraced democracy, turning out to the polls in greater numbers than we do. And there's the little matter of the oil, which is why some people say we went in the first place. Of course, the reason we were given, that Saddam Hussein was hiding weapons of mass destruction, turned out not to be true. That fact will always cloud any successes of the war. And that very well may be the lesson of Iraq, that we better be damn sure of the reasons before we risk even one American life in war. So I guess a better question is, was it worth it? If Iraq is free, prosperous, and pro-American in 20 years, I guess it was. History will decide. But did we win? As the men and women on the ground in Iraq will tell you, there are no real winners in war. The best you can do is survive. And to those men and women who are coming home, welcome back. And thank you.
And you can see more of Larry's segments on our website. We also have a link to his blog. Just go to southflorida.com/Larry. Coming up on the morning show, if you love to drink sweet tea, why a new study says it could leave a sour taste in your mouth. What could happen if you drink too much of the popular Southern drink?
And stars are always finding ways to look their very best. Coming up, how Glee's Lea Michele is getting in shape and how it's paying off in your Celeb TV Minute. That's next.
6:23, if you want to keep up with everything we got going on here and you can't get to your computer, don't worry. All you need is your cell phone. Just go to mobile.southflorida.com to access our website no matter where you are. That is mobile.southflorida.com. It's a popular summer thirst quencher, but now we're learning about a possible link between sweet tea and kidney stones. Our TV station in Seattle has the story.
Lunch hour at the Barbecue Center in Lexington means two things: barbecue and iced tea.
Well, on a hot day from 80 to 100 gallons. They drink it by the quarts, they drink it half and half, they drink it anyway.
But there's something about tea that doctors say people should know. It can promote the growth of kidney stones.
Boy, I tell you, they hurt.
Oh, Herbert Brock knows. He's had kidney stones off and on for years.
Just a little bit.
His doctor told him to stop drinking tea.
That's good. He analyzed kidney stone and said it was coming from sweet tea, soft drinks, calcium.
Bobby Crane's wife was told the same thing.
And the doctor busted up her kidney stones, told her, the cause of it. And he said sweet tea was, one of the worst causes.
The reason is the high concentration of the naturally occurring chemical oxalate found in tea leaves that inhibits the body's absorption of calcium.
That's the reason I drink water.
They still gonna drink sweet tea. It don't make no difference. My wife, she still drinks it.
I don't mean you to quit it. You just cut down some on it.
These two, they drink sweet tea like going out of style.
I'm pretty sure it's more than just the tea that causes the stone.
He's right. Doctors say it's more of a problem in people prone to develop the stones.
That's like being overweight. You think they would give up eating as much or fatty stuff? That's where I try to cut down on some of it.
There's also a pretty good list of other plants that have significant concentrations of oxalate, including black pepper, spinach, chocolate, beans, and most nuts and berries. The good news is the citrus in lemon can help keep kidney stones from forming.
6:25, and if you're getting dressed to go to a job that you hate where you don't make a lot of money, you probably don't want to hear this, but actress Sandra Bullock earned much more than simply an Oscar last year. Forbes was reporting that the Blind Side star is the highest paid actress in Hollywood, earning, guess how much? $56 million over the past year. And she's single. That film pulled in $310 million at the box office, while her romantic comedy, The Proposal, grossed $320 million. Lots of money there. Reese Witherspoon and Cameron Diaz tied for second place, making $32 million apiece, and Jennifer Aniston came in third, banking $27 million. The girl from the hit show Glee is all glammed up. Kelly Zink has the scoop on her secret to looking good, so good, in your Celeb TV Minute.
She crashed into our living rooms and became America's newest sweetheart. But has Glee's Lea Michele gone all Hollywood on us with her diet? A very chic Rachel Berry is Market Beauty's August cover girl. And the Glee actress is also debuting a new super slim shape.
I'm up at 6 a.m. every day. I have my protein shake with banana and flaxseed oil. And by 6:10, I'm on the elliptical.
Looks like Leah's really getting into character off screen, because she also looked like she dropped some lbs on the red carpet at a Fox party in LA. So how'd the 5'3", 23-year-old do it? Leah tells OK Magazine it's her new vegan diet. You need a lot of energy to play spunky Rachel Berry, so I've tried a lot of different things, and so far, this is working. It sure is. Work it, girl. Now head over to celebtv.com to find out why bigger is better on the set of Mad Men. With your celebtv.com minute, I'm Kelly Zink.
It's Win It Wednesday here on The Morning Show, and today we are hooking you up. We're giving away a $50 gift card to GBS, the beauty store. All you have to do to enter is watch in our 7 a.m. hour today and look for the keyword. Then you're going to text that keyword to this number, 23539. So again, watch today in the 7 o'clock hour of The Morning Show for your chance to win. Coming up next on The Morning Show, the iPhone and the Droid have some stiff competition. We're going to show you the newest smartphone to hit the market.
All right, we'll see about that one, Eugene. Also ahead at 6:30, most people call 911 for help, right? Well, wait till you hear what one Florida man asked for when he drunk dialed a 911 operator. We've got the tape you have just got to hear to believe. Wake up, South Florida, and what's going on Fort Lauderdale? You're watching The Morning Show, and here's a live look behind the scenes at our control room. Here's where the magic happens.
.31 on The Morning Show. A new day, a new phone. The smartphone wars take a new turn today with the arrival of the BlackBerry Torch 9800. It combines touchscreen technology along with a drop-down keypad. Research in Motion unveiled the phone in New York on Tuesday. So it has a touchscreen and pull-out keyboard as well as a 5-megapixel camera. An updated operating system is designed to compete with the likes of the iPhone and Android smartphone, and it includes BlackBerry's first full web browser. Phone costs about $200, same as the iPhone 4, with a 2-year service agreement from AT&T. All right, so another phone to feast your eyes on. Jeff, you're a bit of a phone connoisseur. What do you think of that one?
I kind of love that one, but I am, and it's not like I'm being paid. Anybody from Verizon that would like to pay me for this statement, I would appreciate it. But I go with Verizon, man. I love the BlackBerry because I can't let go of my BBM friends, my followers. But yeah, that phone looks awesome. I would love for it. If that came to Verizon, done. Get it. I'd get it tomorrow. Fort Lauderdale down towards Hollywood. Hey, look at this. Chris Kane might be getting a little bit. Might have gotten a little bit of rain here, or she was just to the north of it. I tell you, this stuff basically, if you look over at the last 60 minutes or so, well, now you can see a little bit of lightning now coming to the south of Hollywood, all right? So just know that if your commute lies anywhere on Interstate 95 from Hollywood down towards Miami, guess what? You're going to run into some wet roadways. This is going to be the problem, much like it was yesterday, slowing things down on those roads over towards Hialeah. Today, the problem is going to be basically the Atlantic coast showers for the morning, and then the afternoon thunder showers should head on over towards the west coast, much like they did on Tuesday. Right now, 83 degrees. Gained a degree. Sun's not even out. Went from 82 to 83 over the course of the last hour. So it is warm out there. It is humid. And here is that extended forecast. I'm not going to give you just bad news. We got high pressure rolling in towards the end of the week. Friday, Saturday looking really good after a wet Wednesday into Thursday. Hey, full look at the tropics and what's going on with Colin coming up in just a few. But back over to you, Dave.
All right. Thanks. That weekend does look pretty nice. Let's get a look at your morning fix of news headlines. Kristen Anderson is standing by live in the Sun Sentinel News Desk.
Good morning, Dave. Good morning to you at home. Here's a look at stories we're following for you this morning. Today is a grim anniversary for an Oakland Park woman. In the past, she was shot, she was run over, but despite that trauma, she's turned her life around. The morning show's Yosvani Rodriguez has the story.
After surviving one of the most savage attacks imaginable 3 years ago, Christine Kent has embarked on a number of monumental challenges. Her story of how she became a paraplegic after an acquaintance shot her in the back and then ran her over horrified all of Broward County. Her emotional appearance at her attacker's sentencing trial moved everyone to tears. And when we all heard she has emerged as a competitive hand cycler who competes in local marathons, we cheered. But now Christine Kent says she now is focusing on a new mission, helping other spinal cord victims meet their own challenges.
Well, I do hope to be an inspiration to others, other people that are disabled, handicapped, or that have just gone through troubles in their life with the loss of a loved one or a different tragedy that they may have faced. And I hope to be inspirational to them.
Since her story has appeared in newspapers and on television, Kent says she has been overwhelmed by the constant support from both friends and strangers.
I've been able to respond to some of these people and reply back and speak to them personally, or send them a nice email and give them some encouraging words and tell them to keep their faith and not to give up.
But now through a local support group, Kent is reaching back out, inspiring others with her story and in hopes they don't give up.
The more that you focus on the positive and the good that's in your life, the more good things come your way, and the more you appreciate all the little things that we all take for granted.
In Oakland Park, I'm Yosvani Rodriguez for The Morning Show.
Just an incredible person. You can read more about Kent's survival story and see a photo gallery on our website at southflorida.com. Just look under news headlines. A 17-year-old boy is expected to pull through after being zapped by lightning while fishing near Lake Worth. Doctors say Joseph Guerrero is lucky to be alive after such a close call. But statistics show surviving a near strike is not so unusual. Listen to this. Back in 2005, Jeffrey Breyer was standing barefoot in his Boca Raton garage when lightning struck a neighbor's house and traveled horizontally into him.
It numbs out your entire body. It's 1,000 times worse than sticking your finger in a light socket, and the pain, believe me, if he was struck directly, the pain he could be going through would be excruciating.
Breyer feels there's a reason he survived, and it makes him appreciate life more. Meanwhile, the latest lightning strike victim, Guerrero, is talking to family and friends visiting him in the hospital. All right, I'm going to try and get through this story without giggling here. This is a tale of one thirsty and some would even say desperate man. Authorities in St. Johns County arrested a 57-year-old man after he called 911 trying to get a ride to the liquor store.
This is 911.
Well, I need a ride.
You need a ride?
Yeah, to the liquor store. Sheriff says she give me a ride.
Okay, you're going to have to call somebody else, sir. You called 911. We can't come give you a ride.
Even the sheriff says she could give me a ride now.
The sheriff said they'd give you a ride to the liquor store?
That's correct.
Wrong.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. Well, officers arrested George McMurray at a local hotel and took him to jail. He's charged with misusing 911. All right, those are just some of the latest headlines in South Florida. The Morning Show and the Sun Sentinel have partnered together to bring you breaking news alerts. It's free. Just go to southflorida.com. Click on the alerts box on the right-hand side of our homepage. You can even use your Facebook or your Google account to sign up. All right, Dave. That guy.
Well, he did get a ride straight to jail.
Right?
Yeah. Guess be careful what you wish for.
I know. Good one.
Yeah, all right. Thanks a lot, Kristen. It's 6:38, and in our SFL Says this morning, we're talking about marital bliss, or maybe not such marital bliss when you consider this. When a couple gets married, should the woman always take the husband's last name? That's what we're asking you this morning. Are there any occasions where she doesn't have to take his last name? Maybe he should take hers. We've been getting your comments. We've been talking about it throughout the morning. Right now, let's bring in Kristen Kane. Chris, haven't heard from you yet this morning. What's your take on this?
You know, Dave, I don't think either party should take either person's name. I've been dating my boyfriend for about 4 years now, and I told him since day one, I will not be taking your name. And he pretends to give me a hard time, but honestly, you know, I think he understands. He knows. I've been honest and open with him about it. I think his parents are the ones that are going to be a little bit more disappointed about it. But here's my reasoning behind it. I mean, number one, just as an on-air personality, viewers and people in this business know me and know other people, you know, as a certain name, but also
you can still have it though. You could still have it and just not use it for TV.
Yes, but here's the thing too. I mean, I was given a name, and I feel like this has been my name for 20 or something years without giving away my age. Right. It's made me who I am, and I don't feel like I should change something about my name for someone else. I don't want to be a Mrs. Tom, so-and-so, you know, last name. And also, I kind of feel like this is 2010. It's not the 1800s. It's not the 1900s anymore. People do things differently now, and there's plenty of families where the two parents don't even get married. So I feel like ultimately a guy should be understanding, and it's really the woman's decision whether to take the name or not.
All right.
That's my feelings.
I feel like female viewers all across South Florida just gave you a "you go, girl." Good to know. Thanks, Chris. Well, what do you think? You heard from Chris Kane. Share your thoughts with us. Where do you stand? Here's how you reach us. Call us 877-5050-735. Text us 23539. Send us an email, feedback@southflorida.com. Be our fan on Facebook, and also follow us on Twitter at WSFL. I just mentioned being our fan on Facebook, so if you haven't done so yet and you're wondering how, okay, I'll tell you. Go to southflorida.com, scroll down, click on the Facebook button in the middle of our homepage, and then you're done. Then you're getting your latest news and hot topics right in your news feed when you become a fan of the morning show. And also, one day you get this. Facebook Fan of the Day. Today's Fan of the Day, Susanna Bustamante. Congratulations, Susanna. Thank you for watching. Coming up on the morning show, Paying It Forward. Hear how one elementary student turned $1 into $3,000. Pretty cool. Time now to check in with producer Brittany Vollmer joining us from our newsroom. Hey, Britt, what do we have coming up in our 7 o'clock hour?
Hey, Dave. Angelina Jolie is the focus of a new biography. The author tells us about the dirt he dug up on the actress. Plus, are you looking for a way to shed a few pounds and not sure whether to go low carb or low fat? We'll fill you in on what the doctors say is the right way to go. That and more at 7.
6:43 on the morning show. This is an inspiring story of how one person can make a difference. In this case, it was an elementary student and $1 that snowballed into something much bigger with the help of some generous strangers. Our TV station in Milwaukee has the story.
There's an old saying that money doesn't grow on trees, but don't tell that to a 68-year-old with a world of experience.
I think it does grow on trees.
Jim Pfeiffer found evidence of that on his windshield.
Mariana noticed there was a note stuck under the windshield, and it looked like it had money sticking out of the note.
It was a $1 bill attached to a letter written by a child. Jim couldn't help but be moved by the note's simplicity and selflessness.
This is a dollar I made doing my chores, and I wanted to do something special with it. He said, so I'm giving it to you. He said, God loves you, and he said, my name is Josh, I'm 7 years old.
He took it right inside the YMCA.
I said, why don't you add this to your Strong Kids campaign?
Then he donated $10 of his own money. Later at a fundraiser, he told the story again, and the checks started pouring in.
It's kind of like when you start a snowball rolling down a hill. It grows and grows and grows, but I said, guess what? I said, you're not near the bottom of the hill yet.
Pretty soon, the $1 had become $3,000, all because of one little boy's idea to pay it forward with a random act of kindness. Problem was, no one knew who this mysterious Joshua was.
Since then, we've tried to find Joshua.
We still had no idea who Joshua really was.
We couldn't find Joshua anyplace.
And that's where the keen eyes of a kindergarten teacher came in.
I said that has to be my Josh from kindergarten last year, but the final giveaway was that he circled the word loves, and he wrote several notes to me in kindergarten where he had circled loves when he wrote God loves me.
She called Joshua's mother, who brought Joshua back to the YMCA to meet the man who got his note.
So we marched down to the pool.
And I see Kathy up there pointing like this. She's got a young man standing next to her, and it dawned on me. I said, I'll bet this is Joshua.
Mr. Jim.
7-year-old Joshua Thorson told Mr. Jim the idea started with his chores.
My mom's said if you clean up one of the rooms like the playroom, you can get $1 and put it on somebody's car.
The motivation was to do something nice without any expectations.
So we did it just to feel God's glory.
In Jim Pfeiffer, Joshua found the right man.
He turned it into $3,000 money for our YMCA. I was really excited about that.
And so is Jim, who says Joshua is a great example of how one small act can grow into something big. In this case, money growing on a Joshua tree.
I think it does grow on trees, and they say actually money has no value. It's what you do with it. And Joshua did an awful lot with that dollar that he put in that note. It's grown and grown and grown.
What a cool story. That's great. Jim says he hopes that Joshua's example leads to more Joshua trees and more donations to groups that need help. 6:46 here on The Morning Show. Jeff Melkar is ready to give you another look at your wake-up weather this morning, Jeff.
See, I'm going to pay it forward over here now for everybody. I'm going to have to give you a bad weather forecast this morning so that I can give you a good one for Friday, all right? So that's the way we work here. I'm going to have a glasses half full before this forecast is over. All right, I tell you, your morning commute, hey, it's going to be a little bit hairy. Might take a little extra time to get where you're going. You see some of these showers moving through North Miami now on the way towards Hialeah. So depending which way you are going for the morning commute, right now you may want to head to the north, much less rainfall there. But look at this, got some lightning going on. So this particular area of shower activity strengthening as it moves on over to the west. So we've got some moderate rainfall impacting Interstate 95. So like I said, take it easy out there a little bit. Here we go, last 6 hours. You can see that there's a couple more showers popping up behind it. However, when the sun comes up, you're going to see the same type of effect that we saw on Tuesday, where sun comes up, we start to warm things up, and these showers will dissipate a little bit. In fact, there's not much heavy stuff behind what's moving in right now. So in the next hour, things may look a little bit better as well. So your headlines today, a wet couple of days. Got a little bit of a disturbance in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere rolling through today into tomorrow. Drier, though, that's the good news by the end of the week as high pressure rolls back on in. And, of course, you heard an awful lot about Colin, but only for one day. Well, that's because Colin is basically no more. National Hurricane Center issued the last advisory on what was a really unimpressive system at 5 o'clock on Tuesday. But let me zoom back on out and just let you know, here he is right here, what's left of him anyways. We're not out of the woods just yet. Well, South Florida, as it stands, looks to be out of the woods. With this general track, though, if you remember those computer spaghetti models from Tuesday, still looking for that turn to the north. When it does get right about here, looks like environmental conditions going to improve a little bit. So we might not be done with Colin just yet, especially as we get into the weekend. Sunday into Monday, we'll watch for signs of regeneration with Colin as we go through the next week. 83 degrees right now in Fort Lauderdale, still remaining clear over there at the airport. But today, in a nutshell, we go like this, 90 degrees. Like I said, morning showers, we're already seeing them on Interstate 95. However, I think we're going to see a little bit of lunchtime sunshine out there, which is going to help warm those temperatures up and then help fire up those afternoon thunder showers, which is why I'm telling you, save that barbecue for the weekend. You'll be glad you did in Coral Springs, 91 degrees. Tonight we get down to about 80. Overnight showers once again possible, much like we saw Tuesday, today, and we'll see tomorrow. Here's that extended forecast, though. I say drier as we head to the weekend. High pressure rolls in. Friday into Saturday, we'll warm it up to about 92 degrees. There's your forecast. Back to you.
It's 6:49 from the Sun Sentinel News Desk. Here's a quick look at what's making news now. Cops say a newly ousted employee killed 9 people, including himself, and wounded 2 others during a shooting spree at a Connecticut beer distributor. Cops say 34-year-old Omar Thornton had just been given a choice between quitting or being fired after he was caught stealing beer. Witnesses say while he was being escorted out of the building, Thornton pulled out a handgun and started blasting. When he stopped firing, cops say Thornton called his mother to say goodbye, then turned the gun on himself. Thornton had complained of racial harassment to his supervisors, but hadn't been in trouble at work before. This could be the beginning of the end of the Gulf oil disaster. Right now, BP is in the middle of the static kill procedure that could seal the well once and for all. It involves slowly pumping mud and cement into the ruptured well about a mile below the surface. The procedure could be finished as early as today, but engineers won't know for more than a week if it actually worked. Regardless, though, the gusher will also be plugged from the bottom through a relief well. The government says about 206 million gallons of oil leaked from the well before it was capped. A big controversy in the Big Apple to talk about as New York City commissioners clear the way for an Islamic center and mosque to be built near Ground Zero. The vote was 9-0 against granting landmark status to a building sitting on the proposed site. Now it'll be torn down for the controversial project. There were angry shouts inside the chamber right after the vote. Many New Yorkers are outraged at the location, calling it a slap in the face to 9/11 victims. The lead developer on the project says religious freedom gives them the right to build there. Well, those are the stories making headlines right now. Head to southflorida.com for more updates. Dave.
Thank you, Kristen. Coming up tomorrow on the morning show on our Friday Eve, make your walls really pop. We'll show you how by using paint methods that don't say boring and plain. Also, mommy blogger Ann Vasquez will be here to go over mistakes moms and dads make when disciplining the kids. And if your little one is all grown up and going to college, we're going to show you some dorm design ideas to make the room feel like a home away from home.
That's all coming up tomorrow, but coming up later on right here on the morning show, illusionist Chris Angel gives us the inside scoop of season 6 of his hit show, Chris Angel Mind Freak. And will he be able to escape the SFL hot seat? You have to stick around to find out. Season 6 of Chris Angel Mind Freak premieres tonight on A&E, and he's made us gasp with his death-defying escapes and, of course, his fearless demonstrations. Sometimes he's even made us cringe and even laugh a little when things go wrong. Remember that nail gun incident a few seasons ago? Yeah. Well, this season, expect nothing but a lot more of the same eye-popping action. I spoke with Chris Angel earlier this week, and he says sometimes he even shocks himself.
Well, I'll tell you, there's a few this season that I was like, what the hell am I getting myself into? Like, you know, the premiere episode, Wednesday at 10 on A&E, I'm going to attempt a death jump, which is literally inspired by Evel Knievel's attempt to jump the Snake River Canyon, and his failed attempt left such a lasting impression in my mind that I wanted to try to do it, but with an illusion twist.
Do you have any limits? Where do you draw the line? Is there anything that you're scared of or that you won't do?
That's the problem. The things that people tell me I shouldn't do, it's like the cookie jar theory. You tell a kid, don't touch the cookies in the cookie jar. He wants to touch them. Well, I guess I'm like a little kid trapped in a man's body because I always want to do what people tell me not to do because I want to prove to people that, you know, no is a horrible word.
So he'll go for the cookie and he can even escape chains and whatnot, but there's one thing Chris Angel could never escape. That's our very own SFL hot seat. BlackBerry or iPhone?
BlackBerry.
Illusion or reality?
Reality.
Nail gun or hammer?
Hammer.
Angel or demon?
Both.
Catch a cougar or rock the cradle?
Both.
Playboy bunny or penthouse pinup?
Neither.
The Sorcerer's Apprentice or the Fairy Godmother?
I haven't seen either.
The Prestige or the Illusionist?
Probably the Illusionist.
Sin City or the Big Apple?
The Big Apple.
Love or lust?
Love.
All right, coming up next at 7, we're going to talk to an author who digs up the dirt about Angelina Jolie in a new biography. And a contestant on the next Food Network star shows you how to cook up a delicious Mediterranean dish. 6:59, that's a live look outside at downtown Fort Lauderdale. And this is the morning show. It's Wednesday, it's hump day. Trying to get you over the hump and get you excited for the weekend. And Jeff, I don't want to do your job for you. I know that's why they pay you the huge bucks, but the weekend is going to be pretty nice, huh?
All right, well, that's good though. Somebody's paying attention. It's like a pop quiz there in class. But I will tell you, you saw that that view from above, that view from outside. That basically was coming out from our building, which is right here. However, to the south lies a place called Hollywood Beach, right about here. And let me tell you something. Got a little bit of rainfall going on, as you can see right about now. And I will tell you again, now basically the heavier stuff now just to the west of Hollywood Beach. But again, a little bit of remnant rain. And yes, you can see some of those winds. So that's what you can expect. These people don't care though. They're like, hey man, I'm getting that workout in. Good for you. And I will tell you, if you are about to head out to the office, wherever you may be going, check it out, because that was some pretty moderate rainfall. So like I said, the heavy stuff right away from the beach now, probably about 5 minutes removed from it. In fact, the best way to show you what's going on here, and the speed is to put this thing into motion. Here's the last 60 minutes. So this stuff is not taking its sweet time. It's pretty much hauling at a good clip. And now we got a little bit of lightning moving ashore between North Miami down to Miami, Hialeah. Going to get a little more rain over there as well. To the north of Fort Lauderdale, things seem to have calmed down a little bit. Boca, about an hour ago, again, you saw some rain moving ashore. However, those roadways a little bit wet, especially when you start talking about that area between Hollywood and Fort Lauderdale. You're going to want to take a little extra time to get where you're going. The good news for you is, behind these showers, it doesn't look like as much shower activity is forming. And as we continue to go through the rest